Hey everyone, how are you doing? Hope you're having a great weekend. Some great weather outside. We're here to talk about the 2023 NHL entry draft in Nashville, Ontario. That's ridiculous.
No, of course it's not Nashville, Ontario. It's Nashville, Tennessee. That's the home of Carrie Underwood, country music, Taylor Swift. I think you get it. The home of the Nashville Predators too, but who's talking about them? We're here today to talk about the Chicago Blackhawks, and not their number 1 pick overall, but their number 19 pick overall. Of course, you know that the Chicago has picked up the number 1 pick overall, and of course that's going to be Connor Bedard. There are absolutely no circumstances under which Chicago would trade that pick, so if you're hearing anything about that, there is no combination of players that would be possibly made available for Chicago to move that pick and not make it themselves. There would be riots in the streets of the Windy City. It's just not going to happen. So if you're hearing that kind of stuff, be smart and ignore it. And if you think that Bedard's going to pull an Eric Lindros and not report to the Hawks, well, you've obviously fallen down and hit your head and you're concussed, because that's just not going to happen. Now, Connor Bedard is worthy of being excited about. He is a generational talent, absolutely. And Chicago is in a rebuild, and I get it. But drafting Connor Bedard with the number 1 pick overall does not mean that the rebuild is over. What that means is that the beginning of the rebuild has started very, very well indeed. So that's all there is to it. So I'm not here to talk about Bedard because that's an obvious choice, and yes, I'm excited about that, but there's no mystery with Connor Bedard because we know we're going to get him. What I'm interested in is the number 19 pick. Now, you might already know this, but the Blackhawks have 2 picks in the first round and 4 picks in the second round, and this is an extremely deep draft. So that means that the Hawks can take multiple swings on multiple players in the second round and even afford to miss on a couple of those picks. And no matter what, there's still a really good chance that they're going to end up with 3 or 4 bona fide NHL quality players in the first 2 rounds of this draft. I'm only going to concentrate on number 19. There are 2 players that I think that are available or might be available around that slot that Chicago might have a shot at getting. And the first one of those, first of all, a little backstory. Connor Bedard, despite the fact being a generational talent, he's 5'10" and 185 pounds, which kind of makes him like a little tank. But the thing of it is, he's not the tallest guy in the world. Last year in the first round, with our second pick in the first round, we picked a center, Frank Nazar, who is a speed merchant, a really slick little hockey player, sort of like a Brendan Point. But he's not the tallest guy in the whole world either. So what we need is a little bit of size. So what I've done is I've sort of concentrated on 2 players that have that size that I think that would be important to have alongside the up-and-coming Connor Bedard. And so the first guy that I want to talk about is a fellow by the name of Samuel Honzek. Now, Samuel Honzek is from Trenčín, Slovakia, which is the hometown of number 81, Marian Hossa, and all Blackhawks fans would remember him just fine, thank you very much. He played last year in the Western Hockey League for the Vancouver Giants, and Samuel is 6'4", 185 pounds. So watch what happens to that frame in the next couple of years as he both grows and develops, and he gets big league conditioning programming to round out his game. Now, he's a left-hand shot, and he also plays left wing. He's listed on Bob McKenzie's board and Elite Prospects board as a center, but he's actually a left winger and a left-hand shot, so that's a traditional left-left combination. The thing I like about him, aside from his size, is the fact that he's a really good hockey player too. He can skate really well, although he's not the prettiest skater around, but he gets it done. And really good board work, really good edges, a really good intimidating presence on the forecheck. He's got some soft hands, he can shoot. He's a well-rounded hockey player that in any other draft, this guy, rather than hanging around the 19-20 spot, this guy last year would have been in the top 10, maybe even in the top 5. So this is going to be a really good hockey player. Let's have a look at some of Samuel Honzek's highlights here. So as we take a look at this, you can see that the puck, that's Honzek up top, and you can see him putting pressure on the defender. The defender blows a tire. Well, there's Samuel, takes the puck, and he's got a breakaway basically from the blue line in, and he finishes between the legs. Here's another look at that. You can see that once again the guy goes for a bit of a spill, and the guys that were chasing Honzek in the first place still haven't caught up to him. You can see him here. He's in the white at the middle of the screen. And here he's just going to barrel down the right side, and he's going to make a power move to the net. And while he doesn't score, he gets right in there and penetrates the defense. Here, look at the speed this guy's got. 6'4" and 185, and he barrels in there, and he just knees his way in. Over here, here's a big shot. Look at that. Look, that's a snipe. Here's another look at it over here. Watch that water bottle go. Boom! That's a snipe. And we're going to have a look at it from the opposite angle here. And yeah, this guy can pop it top shelf. And that's just a thing of beauty. So what do we got over here? Oh, we got the Tage Thompson move. He's a left-handed shot, but he's over on the right side of the net. And watch him just one time and pound that thing. Here's some other soft hands. He can find that. Look at this toe drag here as he goes around the net, head up, and he sees the guy in the point coming in for the shot. I don't know what happens after that. And look at this move. Look at this move. Oh, right between the legs. And he comes in and he fires a shot, and he doesn't get rewarded with the goal, but there you go. And here he is, another power move, outweights the goalie. The goalie has a holy smokes moment, and that's what that's what Samuel Honzek is all about. He's a pretty good hockey player. He just happens to be a very big-bodied, very good hockey player. He looked really good at number 19 in the pick. He may go earlier. Some boards have him actually later. So we're hoping that at number 19, if a guy like that is still around, and I'm the GM, which of course I'm not, but I know that the GM in Chicago is a relatively astute young man, I believe that he's going to snag Samuel Honzek of the Vancouver Giants with that number 19 pick. Now, let's just say that Sammy Honzek isn't available. Where else are we going to find these big bodies that we're looking for? So the next guy I have is a guy out of Russia. His name is Daniil But. He is from, played for Lokomotiv Yaroslavl last year in the KHL, which is pretty much the second best league, hockey league in the world. And he played there as a 17-year-old. He's another big boy. This guy's 6'5", 205 pounds at the age of 18. So watch this guy fill out. Now, he reminds me of Tage Thompson in the sense that he's a left winger, but he's a right-hand shot, which means that when he comes into the center of the ice, the entire net is open to him. He's not approaching the net from an angle. He has the ability to come in off the boards. He has the ability to power his way into the middle of the ice and then take advantage of that shot. As I said, a right shot coming off the left side, that opens up the whole cage to him and makes a goaltender kind of sweat bullets when he sees Danny But coming at him with the puck. Now, But can he can distribute the puck. He can move it around. He's got soft hands. He can pass. He can skate. It's almost obscene what this guy can do. Now, the only problem with Daniil But is, well, not of course, but with the world situation right now, Danny's a Russian. Another thing, too, is But is signed to, I believe, the end of the 23-24 season, so he wouldn't be available one way or the other. But the Hawks are in no hurry. It's not like they're going to get good anytime real soon, so they can afford to wait a year or two of this guy playing in the KHL and then bringing him over after Bedard's had a couple of years and the other draft picks have had time to gel and develop and that sort of thing. So Daniil But, so when we take a look at some of the stuff that he has to offer, let's look out for that big shot. So you can see him there on the right-hand side. He's number 50. Here's that from another angle. Boom! Goalie didn't even see it, right over the shoulder. And he uses this screen in front of the net. Same thing, right over the shoulder, off the top of the glove and into the cage. This guy's got a sniping mentality. Look at that toe drag. Finds the middle of the ice, goes to the backhand, puts it in the reverse corner, to the other side of the net. Here he is coming off the sideboards. This is beautiful. Look at that. He just opens up the ice, has the whole net to shoot at, and just finds the net no problem. Watch this. Big toe dragger. Comes around. Holy geez, says the goaltender. But Danny But has just managed to circumnavigate the goaltender and stuff it home. A really nice play. And then again, there's that Tage Thompson stuff where he's wide open on the other side, and it's just a great big one-timer. And he buries it. Look at that. Don't give him the 5-hole. Because he's going to bury that too. Yeah, Danny But, he's got the ability to do this kind of soft hand stuff, but look at the shot on this guy. Look at the twang on that net. Yes, Daniil But, right-hand shot, coming in off the left-hand side of the ice. This guy is as dangerous as all giddy up. So, he's the second guy that I have pinned as a possible pick for the Hawks at number 19. Now, one thing I can say is that on the draft boards, most draft guys have Samuel Honzek rated ahead of the 19 slot. You can see Honzek anywhere from 10 onwards. Some draft boards have him even after the 19th selection, whereas Boot almost consistently is found after the 19th pick. But I'll tell you something right now. The way this draft is going, it is so strong, and there are so many good players available in it, that there is a possibility, if God shines down or if God smiles down upon the Hawks, that they may be able to snag both these guys. See, the Hawks have the number 35 pick. That's the third pick of the second round. And if somehow Boot drops to 35, you can bet that Chicago won't be able to run up to that stage fast enough to get this guy. And then we would have both of these guys. Really big bodies, really big motors, really big shots. Guys that can win board battles, guys that are aggressive on the forecheck, guys that are a little bit intimidating because of their size and because they're going to cruise up and down the wing there. You put either of these guys on a wing with Connor Bedard, and you've got a guy that can not only set up Bedard, but you also have a guy, either one of these guys, that can finish anything that Bedard dishes out. So that's what I have to say about the Hawks this coming Wednesday. It's the 2023 NHL entry draft. It will be in Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm going to be watching it, and perhaps you will too. So if you are, I know you're not a Hawks fan, I am obviously. Hey, pay attention to number 19. Pay attention to two guys that I've highlighted today, Samuel Honzek and Daniel Boot. From Newsbag Renfrew, I'm Steve Jones.